guys. I'm Tamar Charmaine.
And I'm William Bailey.
Okay, so, alright. I am so sorry we did not record a review. I know, it's just been bootleg this season, but it's getting better. I was actually in California. We live in New York. And by the time I came home, I was just like, y'all life.
Like I was sick a few weeks before. She's been having like vision problems and things like that.
So it's been a lot, but let's get to this review.
Yes.
Okay.
Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Mila and Gil.
Okay.
Because I think they were the least problematic this episode, surprisingly.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'll start by saying I feel like Gil needs to calm down and give her the brunch that she wants. Okay, they talk about cookies and all this other
alright,
stuff.
so here's the thing. Mila she was like she wants 4 brunches a month and 2 dinner dates. I actually think that's a lot. Will, he likes luxury. When we're on vacation, he's the one that's getting the massages and stuff like that. So of course he would be like, oh, that's not bad. But I totally get where Gil is coming from. I think maybe if they do like 2 brunches and then a dinner and 2 dinner dates a month, that's great. Remember, he's a fireman and he sends a lot of his money to Colombia, so he also has to be smart about it. And because money doesn't motivate, money motivates me, so I don't know how a person is not motivated by money thinks. But because he's not thinking on how to make more money, he's thinking about saving his money, and he's content and where he is in life financially. There's nothing for him to attain to be able to provide those things for Mila, unless he starts seeing the lifestyle she likes to live, and then he figures out, okay, let me put another source of income.
I feel like he needs to be the one now to sort of compromise. I feel like Mila, she's been trying real hard to do her best. The one thing she haven't tried hard about yet was giving him his little kiss he wanted. But I feel like from what I've seen from her, she's very patient. She listens really well to him. She communicates back and forth with him. I feel like she's doing everything right. I feel like Gil at this point, like, don't put down everything that she say. At least find a way to compromise with that versus like looking at it as like, instead of talking like bad about it, find a way to work it out.
But Mila is very hard to please, and I do think I understand that. She is stubborn, but also
bougie.
I've
been calling her bougie since day one.
She is bougie, but in my head, I really don't think she's bougie. She's just someone, like I said, I read her spot on, and it was true. She's just a hood girl that got some money, that is trying to get all the things that she never had in life, but she's not bougie.
But as you can see,
she's bougie, but she's not. You know what I mean?
But as you can see, like in last week's episode, she actually the one that saves. She has money.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like she was able to do all this stuff, and he's like, okay, let me see how much you save.
Well, they live in Texas.
Oh.
They live in Texas, so if she's making 6 figures, right, and they live in Texas, she's gonna be okay. It's not like she's making that amount of money and living in New York. In New York, making $100,000, you're broke.
Mm-hmm.
Our neighborhood, median income is over $90,000, and it is not even a wealthy area, by far. So when you have all that money and you live in Texas, your money's gonna go a long way, and that's why she can go that far.
I get all that, but like for example, he's going off about like this, about that. It's like he's not giving her, like, how I really feel about her. She's very bougie, but I feel like for him to like call out, like even hold her accountable, like I'm gonna leave during decision day if he don't get a kiss. So I can, like, it's kind of like he thinks that he's going so hard and doing everything, and she's like taking
I
advantage
don't
of him
see
in
any.
a way.
I don't see honestly. I don't see any real issue with Gil the way you're making it out to be.
No, he's very. What I like about him, he's very vocal. But I would say like, and he doesn't have an attitude behind it.
Yeah.
But I would say like, you know, like some things can be privately, like, you know, even when he's talking in interviews, he's like the loud one. But it's not like anger behind it, you know. He's like.
I think maybe because I understand that culture. Like he's Colombian, you know.
Yeah.
Latino and Caribbean people, that's how the men are. Like that's just not
let's,
even
let's
just men, people.
Before.
That's just how they are. All right, so that was rude, but
no, you like going into the history. You go into the Colombian history.
No, but it's true. You have to understand it's a different culture.
I know, but
and like even okay, but I know, but like for example, Will and I we butt heads sometimes because we come from two different cultures. He's African American, I'm Caribbean.
I'm mixed.
So, nigga, you black. So sometimes the way I am like very like Gil actually, very like I, you know, I speak my mind. I like to talk, but that's just
I'm
culture.
More like Gil. You're more like Merlin.
What? You wish.
You're like bougie, you like her.
Like the culture. I feel like sometimes culturally speaking is that thing of like just being like.
Well, you do it with your hands.
I do it with my hands, and people think I'm fighting. But literally, that's how I talk. That's how everybody I grew up around talks. And you have to understand, Gil grew up in Colombia. He moved here, I think, when he was in grade school. But his whole family is still in Colombia. So he still... So you also have to put that into perspective. But anyway, let's go into Michaela and Zach. Okay.
So go ahead.
All right. So with Michaela and Zach, I think they're going back on a great path, but Michaela is not well in the head.
I think she's well. I don't think you're giving her a fair chance. She thinks she's crazy. She thinks she's a lunatic.
But I think,
and she's feeling salty tonight when Michaela was actually coming around.
I'm rooting for Michaela and Zach, but I think there's two things with both Michaela and Zach. Michaela and Zach have never been in love, both of them. And there is probably a good reason at that the ages that they are. She's 30, he's 27.
That makes sense.
And they have never been in love. So both of them have the red flags. Michaela, her sisters, her friends, everybody has warned that she is a hurricane. She's volatile. She said her parents had a volatile relationship despite being together for years. She does not know how to channel her emotions and her trauma. She needs therapy. Where Zach, he shuts down and he doesn't know how to effectively communicate because he has his older brothers and his family's very protective of him. So he's never had to really speak up and vocalize his needs and his wants because I feel like everybody has always done that for him.
I think Zach communicates very well.
I think he our camera memory actually is full, so of course it shut off. So we're gonna try to get back to that point. But I was saying that, you know, Michaela always had the protection of her sister. Zach being in love, and he has this very sensitive side, and you know, he had his brothers, so they're both used to protection and people talking for them, speaking for them, protecting who they are as people. And they have to understand when they're married, they are each other's family now. They have their family, but they don't matter anymore. It's Zach and it's Michaela, and so the both of them have to learn that to be able to speak effectively to each other because they're in it together now. They don't have the outside protection anymore.
Yeah, my only other concern is those looks she be giving him. It was a concern for the experts. You know, she in the beginning of this episode, she was doing the look again. She was like,
she's very very immature. Like I said, I don't know.
I don't think she's immature. Okay, it's how she deals with conflict that can be, she deals with that in an immature way.
That's immaturity, and the fact that she couldn't hold herself accountable with Zach's list that wasn't even, it wasn't Jose's, it wasn't Johnny's, it wasn't.
I think
it's like, Michaela, you mean to tell me you don't know how to be loyal, you don't know how to be intelligent, you don't know how to be mature, you don't know how to, it's like, out of all the things on that list, really, Michaela? So, I think
she's trying right now. I think in those moments, she's trying, but at the same time, she's afraid that, oh, if I have a complaint about this, will he walk away? So I think in that moment, what we saw was her reflecting on that, and trying to, she didn't want to say too much in that moment. I don't think that list was hard to her, but I think her focus was more on, dag, he has a list, and I already see, we know the one that she was more concerned about. It was really the conflict one, but she said number 4 and 5. But like I said, she's only saying that because I feel like she's now in a state where she's guarded again, and she feels like if she says one more thing, will he react the way he did? Even if her reaction is not as bad as it was, she feels like if she has any type of comment, he may take that and go.
Exactly. I think Michaela needs individual therapy, and they both need couples therapy to just learn how to effectively communicate with each other. But she does have a lot of trauma and not that great of examples from her parents. And I'm a really good judge of character.
And Zach has been spoiled.
He's spoiled, and from her mom, just like the spirit I was getting from her mom, same way I got that rebellious spirit last year with Virginia in the Atlanta season. Michaela, just the spirit I got from Michaela's mom at the wedding, she's not altogether there herself, and so the example, and maybe her sisters have had to like step up to the plate, and so the examples that she has had as not her sisters but the older people in her life may have not been the best. She has to relearn. So let's go on to the next couple. No, Bao and Johnny. Okay, so Bao and Johnny finally had sex, and it's wonderful. I think Johnny overthinks, and I think culturally with Johnny and Bao is they both grew up with the pressure of perfectionism, and it's not just Asian culture. I'm Caribbean, and most Caribbean people have this same kind of ethic where it's a thing it's comparison, it's perfection, it's and I even said with Naomi Osaka, she's half Haitian and half Japanese, and with even a lot of the things that's been going on with her, I'm like, it's from both cultures. But so I say that to say that they both communicate the way they were raised culturally in different ways.
But their culture is not too far from each other.
No, they're both Vietnamese, but what I'm saying is that Johnny, the first sign of imperfection that he sees, he's out. And if he sees it in himself, he overthinks. And so that was last week's episode. He was crying. He was like, she's effed because I'm effed. And working with that population of in their culture. I've actually worked with children in that culture. I saw exactly how Johnny acted in last week's episode. I saw that in many of my students myself. And then you have Bao. They were doing the painting, and Johnny was annoyed because she was so into perfection and perfectionism in their painting that she was more focused on them having the perfect picture than just having sexy time with her husband. And so he was looking at that as a turn off, but with Bao, it's a fixation of perfectionism. So like Michaela, they both have traumas that they don't even realize that they have, that are showing up in their relationship, that I believe needs therapeutic help. But other than that, I love Bao. She you know, she's funny. Johnny is also a great guy, and I'm sorry.
I don't think everyone needs. Yes, I need. So I believe everyone, some point in their life, may need therapy, like couples counseling or something like that, because in a marriage, there's just things that that both people could have went through that you may need help from an outsider to handle it. In this situation, once again, like every other couple here, they are learning each other. Johnny is upset that Bao keeps like judging him without like actually asking him certain questions, which kind of like sort of like.
I don't think that's it.
Well, it's like if Johnny effectively communicates to her, which he does, something that he doesn't like, Bao gets upset. She makes these judgments, even though. So the thing is, he say things to her that she don't want to hear, but according to, he's doing what the experts and everyone told him. He's only communicating with her. It may not be the right. Like,
you mean, okay, so you're talking about the point in the episode.
Yeah.
No, there was a point in the episode where Johnny was like.
But hold on, let me finish my thought. What I'm trying to say is this. Like the issue that's there, it's not really an issue because it's like them learning each other, and with Bao, she reacts in a certain way after she gets the information. She'll take it in the moment, but then like be passive aggressive like towards him after that and start judging him. Even though I felt like Johnny, which I agree with some of the stuff you were saying about his life and his family. I also feel like he can be like a Zach, where he was spoiled as well, And now I feel like the thing that kind of brought it together was them basically having sex with each other, because you can tell Johnny was looking forward to that. And as you were saying during the art thing, he wanted to just play and flirt around with his wife. But also make up for the date. Like his intentions were good, but then I think eventually he was upset that she was so focused on the coloring and making sure the color was right and the perfection that you said, that it took all the attention away from him, because she wanted to just focus on what she was doing.
Well, I was gonna say, going back to your point, I was gonna say that there was a point in the episode that Johnny told Bao, it was something stupid. It was, what was it? It was, I didn't write.
Talking about when she cursed?
No, and shoot, he was like, I don't like when this happens, or.
Yeah, he doesn't like when she judges him.
No, I wouldn't have. Oh, I would have been out. No, he was like, no, that's not what it was. He was like, I would have been out if we were dating at this point. Bao, I feel like that both of them effectively communicate. They say exactly what they want. It may not be.
That is true.
What
they want to hear.
What they want to hear, but it is the truth. Because I felt like Bao was right at that point, because you don't say that to your wife. That's like if she asked him, is she fat? And he said yes. You don't say,
so what was he supposed to say?
Keep that to yourself.
No, it's early in the relationship.
No.
It has to come out now.
Okay, so what he could have said was, I'm so used. Johnny has not been in a relationship in 7 years. 7 years. So obviously something's wrong with him. He's been on hundreds of dates, and the last relationship he was in was 7 years ago. He ghosted her. So obviously Johnny's the one with the red flags. He's the one wasn't 100% all in until they had sex. So he could have been like, he could have worded that differently. He could have said, I am so used to running that I find excuses.
So how was he supposed to speak to
because
her
that's
about,
not what you. That's not what you say.
The shower in bed thing. What was he supposed to say?
But that's not what we're talking. I'm talking about him saying you're talking about tonight.
No.
When she said, when he said, if we were dating, I would have been out, and she said that's not what you say to me, and I agreed with Bob. That's not what you said. Men sometimes put their foot in their mouth and don't say the right things.
I'm talking about as a whole. Everything Johnny says is not what she wants to hear. That's what I'm saying. He's speaking. It's the beginning of the relationship. That's the time you put it all out there on the table. You talk about things that work.
That's what I'm saying.
You have
to think about the other person's feelings.
And it's the beginning of a relationship.
But at the beginning of the relationship,
you don't know what that person can take and what they can't take. He will learn that eventually, but as of right now, eventually he's gonna feel like, oh, I can't talk to her because she doesn't want me to say how I feel.
It's
because she's gonna get her feelings hurt.
No, it's the way. It's just, I don't know. It's just like he needs to be smarter and think about her feelings and not just think about his feelings. Think about how would he feel if she said to him, if we were if we weren't in this process, I would have been out. I would have dumped you. How would he feel?
I guess we did agree to disagree on
we
this.
We could agree to disagree on that. But another point.
Right.
Okay, I'm not gonna
stop.
Anyway, but another point I wanted to make about Johnny and Bao is Johnny said that he has a thing for physical touch. He's very touchy-feely. Probably that's why he sleeps with a pillow. So I feel like Johnny just needed sex to shut him up because
some sort of affection.
Which in this episode you saw that Bao showed affection. And remember, before they got married, Johnny was telling all the guys he wants a woman that's obsessed with him. Mm-hmm. I do think that both of them need therapy because that's not normal to think that way. But we can move on to the next couple.
Yes,
let's go to Brett and Michael.
Brett
and Ryan. Brett, comparison could be the thief of joy. Brett started looking down on her relationship when they went to Rachel and Jose's house, and she saw how all the couples were getting along. We've been watching this show. I like Brett and Rachel's relationship, and I was able to compare it to AJ and Stephanie's. Brett and Ryan's relationship, and I was able to compare it to AJ and Stephanie from the Philly season. I think they have a great chemistry, but because she saw how everybody was, all of a sudden she was like, oh, I could see we're not there. Mila and Gil have not even kissed each other. You've kissed your husband. You feel butterflies. He may looking for a spark. I think that I think also, again, all of these men on this particular season, aside from Zach, have these Zach too, because he's in love with being in love. Crazy high expectations of what love is, and that is why they are single. So I'm going to say aside from Gil. And that is why they've been single, and if they don't change those ways, they're going to continue to be single. I
don't want you to hit me by mistake.
Sorry. So, because Ryan was like, I want to feel a spark. I want to, and it's not always like that for everybody, and he has to make that choice. Miller was talking about choices, but he has to make that choice to actively love his wife instead of waiting for her to make those moves and for her to do something so he can feel something. You're not going to feel anything if you're not doing.
And I think that's why I'm confused too, because in the beginning they were doing so well, but I think now Ryan he's not taking those steps and making those moves.
Yeah.
And she's not budging either. She doesn't know what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, he's not telling me. I don't know anything about myself. I don't know if I'm cute. I don't know if he loves me.
And he knows me. That's a flaw of his in several relationships that he's been in. So I don't understand why he would continue to do the same old thing. Oh, that's why you were single. So do what you haven't done in your other relationships.
You know what's funny though? When I was younger, I was never I was never really the type, because of like I always wanted to respect the woman, so I never really wanted to just lead in those ways because I didn't want to like overstep my boundaries.
But women
I don't
love that.
yeah, but some men don't know that, and women are like, oh, it took me like years of dating other women. Oh, I like aggressive men, and I'm like, I get my feelings hurt. I'm like,
Why do you think
what do you
most girls like
mean?
bad boys thugs?
What do you mean, like more aggressive? Like
Yeah.
so you want me to be like and then I had to, and then certain in certain relationships, you know, I became very aggressive. You know, it was something that, you know, I didn't really care to do. It took me out of my comfort zone, but at the same time, it's like, and especially in today's day and age, when can we be aggressive? You know what I mean? But we're not gonna go there. I think I think he needs to, you know, either speak up, or I think they both need to communicate with each other, because I think he really just he wants sex from her. You can tell.
I think so, but he doesn't know how to communicate, and she's wide open for him to. But he's waiting for her to make a move, and he needs to be a man. And okay, people probably wouldn't, but he needs to step it up and just be like, "Yo, this is what we're doing tonight." And Brett will like be like this, because she's already there. She's just waiting for him. So let's go on
Rachel and Jose.
Yeah. So again, Jose is super picky. He talks about how he was with a woman for 4 years and couldn't get over the fact that, you know, she had kids. Why waste her time if you knew you weren't in love? I think he probably told the woman he loved her and stuff like that, and then now he's like, I had strong feelings, whatever the heck he said. Jose's expectations are way too. He's too
cocky.
He's too short, and his teeth are too big for him to
be. He's too cocky.
To be that cocky. Okay, I'm just being honest. Jose really. I think Jose and Rachel are a good match, but I think that he needs to humble himself.
What I like about Rachel though, she's not a punk. You know what I mean?
She's not.
Yeah, she will eventually she'll speak up. You know, she was like, you know, he's like where she's strong at, he's kind of weak, and I think that's why they keep saying they're perfect. But apparently, he used to be the one working out. He was the one doing all this, and now she's doing it. You know what I mean? But I think what I wanted to talk about really quick, they wanted to talk about the infidelity. And I felt like Rachel, she could have gave more to her response when he said, "How am I supposed to trust that, you know, you're out one night?" And she's like, "You just have to trust me."
But no, you know what? What else can she say? Obviously, if she ended up with a person she cheated on with for 8 years, she was with somebody for 8 years, and the first 2 years of their relationship, within the first 2 years of any relationship, that's when, after the year 2, the honeymoon ends, and that's usually when that kind of stuff happens. If you can last 2 years within a relationship, you're gonna end up together. You're gonna end up, you know, married, or, you know, long term. I will say that, because year 2 can be, year 2, 3, 4 is very like trying. But anyway,
I felt like exactly what you just said. Well, you're talking about what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I felt like exactly what you just said. She could have said that.
Yeah, and so the fact that for 6 more years that guy forgave her, and then for 6 more years without her cheating, they were together, obviously. And then she just broke up with this guy, because I remember at the beginning of this season, she just said at the beginning of the pandemic, she got out of a relationship and she started working out. So obviously that's what the guy did. He just trusted her, and she didn't cheat. So I think Jose, again, he has all these high expectations, and if he continues this way, he's going to be single. I know people that are 10 years, 20 years, 30 years older than Jose, who've never been married, don't have any man or nothing, because their expectations are so high, and they're not even a 10 themselves.
So,
all right,
that's all I have to say tonight.
Me too. So until next time.
Thanks, guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.